Alright, okay, today we'll be studying the problem that is asked in the TCS digital examination basically. And today I'll be solving my problem in this my Sublime text editor. So let's read out the problem first. So our problem is saying that find the smallest possible number b for one particular integral I, that is such that product of all digit b will be equals to a. So uh, yeah, the problem seems that b should contain at least two elements as digits, so this is the condition. And after looking the first test cases, I can see that your a is given as 10 and possible answer will be 2 and 5. So how 2 and 5 will become? So let's see that your integer is 10. Yeah, so you're given as a is equal to 10, right? And you have to find the b. So what will be the b? So b will be simply the sum of the product of the digit. So suppose your 25, take 25, and your digit product will be 2 into 5, that will be 10. So if you take the 52, that will be also equal to the 10, right? So if you take 52 and the digit product will be the simply 10. Okay, so by which our result is coming. So what will be our approach for solving this problem? That is basically we will studying about. So I seems there are three corner cases, right? So what type of three corner case? If you find that your suppose your a will be equal to let's say 7, right? So for 7 there should be exist a value. So what will be the value of b? And here the question is saying that b should contain at least two element. Okay, so if you take b as let's say 17, right? So the digit sum of b will be equals to a, by which 1 into 7 is equal to 7, right? So yeah, this is one case, right? And let's take another case where I can find that if you take let's say second test case, right, 56, right? So your a is equal to simply 56, and what will be your b? So your b may be let's say a is divisible by 2 or 4 also. Okay, so there are multiple possibilities of b, right? So if you try to find the smallest possible number of b, so you have your b should be the smallest possible. So what will you do? You will start divide the 56 by let's say 9, starting from 9 to up to the 2, right? So if you started divisible by 9, then 8, then 7, so what happen is you will get the maximum possible digit which can be divisible by 56. So if you started number divisible by 56 by 9, then your result will be not there. So yeah, then if you started divisible by 8, so your division result will be simply 7. So one digit is 7, 8 and 7, and that is merged with 87, or it can be 78, but here we can only take this digit 78. Why? Because your in this question you are given that your b should be minimum, right? So your b should be minimum here. So your possibilities are 87, 78, so I am taking 78 as result, right? So okay, so I think nothing is more there. And okay, let's take another corner case. What that will be? That will be if your a is let's say 13, right? So then what will your be? Then there are nothing numbers exist in 9 to 2 that 13 is divisible by, right? So a is 13 is not divisible by any of the digit, so you simply return that not possible. Okay, so this is the one test case here. Okay, so I'm starting with my approaches. And okay, let's take a one array, right? Let's take int error, and its size let's say 100, right? Or you might take 1000 also. This simply increased your space complexity. So here I am doing it with C++ code, and you also doing your own language like CV or Java or Python, right? So I'm telling the approach is here, and you will simply understand it is simply one array problem. And then you can take that if your a is right. So let's say I am defining a function for it. Okay, that will be the better approach. So let's say int a. So I am taking my a as an input, and then call a function, let's say smallest integer, let's say it's smallest and smallest of a, right? So, okay, so then return 0, and I am completing the smallest function here. So let's take a void and define our function as int a. Okay, now what I will do, I am taking a one array, right? So int error of, let's say, 1000 size. And what my array will do, right? If you think about that, so you will easily understand by this code, because if you find a is greater than 10, then you will be simply returning the value of, so you will simply return that your output value will be simply plus 10, right? Why plus 10? Because I will explain here that if you take the value, okay, if you take this value, so if a is equal to 7, or your a is equal to, let's say your a is equal to 8 or 9, right? So then your b will be simply is equal to 9 plus 10, that will be simply is equal to 19, because 1 into 9, that will be equal to 9 only. Okay, so you simply return the value with added with 10, then return simply. Okay, and if you find not 10, not greater than equals to 10, sorry, this would be less than equals to 10, less than 10 simply. So 0 to 9 all values be here. And if you find that your value is greater than 10, then you will simply take a for loop where the divisible by 9 should be started, and you will keep divisible towards the value 2. So I greater than 1, that will be equals to 2, and I minus minus, right? And here what I will do, and here I will do check condition checking, you may do so. Okay, so if a percentage I is equal to 0, right? So if divisible by any digit, then I will be storing my digit into the array I am taking, right? So I am taking the array that is arr of, let's say, j. Okay, let's initialize j by one variable. So int j is equal to initialize by 0, and then your element will be I. So error of j will be simply equal to I. So if divisible by 8, so in your first array element will be 8, right? And then you will be simply add j plus plus, because next element will be pushed into the next array element, right? So okay, yeah, and your next step will be, so if you find that for the example, let's say the test case given here, that is 625. So according to my cases, 625 is only divisible by 5. So it is divisible by 5, then its value will be updated as 5 and 125. So your a value next will be updated to what? So there is nothing. So I think I can apply one approach here that is most important in this concept, in this question, that is I can use while here. So why I am using while loop? Because I can update my a variable as a by I. Okay, so if I updated my variable as a by I, then what I will be get benefited, that is your 125 value will be again divisible by 5, right? Then your a value will be updated as simply 25. Then your 25 also get divisible by 5. Then it also updated as 5, right? So by which you can get the array element 5 5 5 5. So total answer will be just simply 5 5 5 5, right? So this is the approach behind it. Okay, so after returning from this two loop, I am checking that if still the value of a is greater than 10, let's say it's 13, right? So 13 is not divisible by any of the element. So if the value is greater than 13, then I'll be simply mm, I'll be conclude that your value is not possible. So cout let's not possible, and then return, right? Okay, so yeah, I think it's done. And lastly I have to show my output. So what is our array now? Suppose let's 56 is our array, right? 56 is our digit. So if I take 56 here, 56, so starting from this 56 is divisible by first of all 8. So I am storing the array first element will be simply 8. So the first element will be 8, right? So let's take an array. So first element will be simply 8, and your next a will be updated as 56 divided by 8, so it will be updated as 7, right? Then your j will be pointing to next pointer, so j is here, right? J is here, and your next value will be updated as a, that is 7. 7 is divisible by 7 because 7 is updated here. Okay, so your value will be simply 7 here. Okay, and then the loop is terminated. Why? Because a value is updated as 1, and here doesn't any digit exist that is divisible by 1, that is 9 to 2, there is no digit is divisible by 1. So this loop is terminated, and your value will be updated as your array will be updated as 8 and 7. And you seems there is an approach, that is if you traverse from here to here, so you should get the minimum value, right? So what I will do is I will reverse traverse to the array. So I will traverse reversely, right? So let's take for int I is equal to, that is should be j minus 1. Why j minus 1? Because your j already increased here, right? So I am taking j minus 1, that is the 7 value as I previously said, and I will be traversed towards the 0 value, so greater than equals to 0, and I should be get minus minus. And here you should see out your error value, that is simply I. Okay, so I think it's all done. I think I have made a mistake. No mistake, I think. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, let's take our input variable, let's say 56. So our output should be 87, sorry 70, let's say. Okay, my value is again 778, and let's take with another test cases here. So that is 13, right? So 13, so this value should be, so your this value should be the not possible, right? So not possible is output is here coming, and if you enter the 625 value, then also your output should come 5 times 4, yeah, 4 times 5, and then check once again with the value 7 or 8 or 6 or 5, let's say it's 5, and then your output should be 1 5 15. Yeah, so I think my program is already running, and thank you for listening.